Welcome back, y'all. We got another video for you today. We're going to be talking about Daune Morris officially flipping from USC to our Tennessee Volunteers. I want to talk about what other things could be transpiring now that we're getting very close to the early signing day. And I do have some updated David Sanders information that I want to share my thoughts with you on. But please do us a very big favor. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. So first and foremost, three-star running back Daune Morris has officially flipped from USC to our Tennessee Volunteers. And if y'all followed this channel for some time, then you know we've taken him on and off of our big board, moved him from the possible commits. Finally, last week, I think on Friday, to the expected commits. And lo and behold, 7 days later, or less than 7 days later, he has officially committed to our Tennessee Volunteers. That's really big because I know that the staff wanted to add one more running back in this class to go along with Justin Baker, who's been having a phenomenal season. I think we have two very, very good running backs for the future. Now, in question would be about the offensive line. We will get to David Sanders here in just a second. But number one, man, with Daune Morris flipping from USC to Tennessee, we've talked some about Jaden Pilati possibly, maybe flipping from USC to our Volunteers. I've told you I think that's more about signing day, but I also think that that could be coming up here pretty soon. Would not be surprised if it happens maybe over the next couple of weeks. The thing though about Jaden is that he is so locked in with his season. Being a senior at Buford, it's all about winning state titles. So he might wait until the season is over before he officially flips. But don't be surprised if you're tuned into the insiders and stuff, if they start to hint more and more towards maybe Jaden Pilati potentially flipping to our Tennessee Volunteers, especially because, hey man, look, both of those guys being committed to SC before, I'm sure that they talk. So I think that things are trending towards Tennessee being able to land another 4-star caliber player in this class. That would be huge. But also Isaiah Campbell, he's supposed to be, maybe officially announcing coming up this week, like more towards Thanksgiving. So towards the end of the week, I think that he's going to be picking Tennessee. Sounds like things are trending very much in favor of our Volunteers. And some of y'all did point out before that he is a 5-star caliber player that's just rated as a 4-star. But man, having a big old defensive lineman that can pretty much do it all, adding him to this class would be really, really big for us. So there's a lot of positive things going on, y'all. I know that with the, David Sanders stuff that's been coming out, it's been a whole lot of back and forth. No one really knows what to believe at this point. But a lot of times as Tennessee fans, man, that BVS kicks in and we're just assuming the worst. But let's just be patient. Let the whole thing play out. Like I told y'all earlier today, I think that we've got at least another week or so before everything is official. But what I did want to bring to y'all is that it does sound like what's going on right now behind the scenes is that David Sanders wants a fully guaranteed contract. Now, that's not something that is typical with NIL amongst high school players going on to college or, however you want to kind of like slice that up, whether it's college players or high school players going on to college. It's not very typical. So the question here is going to be, would Ohio State do it and Tennessee not do it? Now, the reason that I feel more optimistic in hearing that is because that's something that Tennessee could definitely do, or at least I think that they could. I don't want to be counting people's pockets. I don't know how much money they actually have out there. But if Tennessee ever wants to match anything from an NIL perspective, I told y'all this for the longest, we can go find that money. We can make it happen. Now, this is kind of weird for this to be happening more towards the end, and it might turn some people off. But for me, I look at David Sanders as a generational talent. And sometimes, man, you gotta, you just gotta play this game. There's gonna be a lot more to come from this or with this. I think that we'll see several more guaranteed contracts if he's gonna, kind of like set the tone there. If there's anybody who's going to do it, it's going to be Tennessee, right? Because we really set the stage with Nico with that $8 million deal, and we saw higher and higher deals coming after that. But I don't know for sure what's going on with the Buckeyes. I'm not I don't follow them closely enough to understand what, the ins and outs are behind the scenes. But I will say this, okay? If something like that is coming up and if, Ohio State says, look, we will do it, David Sanders, his family, and his team, I'm sure because they're all about business, will more than likely at least give Tennessee the option to counter. And it's going to be up to the staff because they know what this team has currently and, what they're going to be getting out of David Sanders. At least they have some sort of an expectation. So they'll understand based off of what they have to work with at this point, if it would be worth it to go on ahead and match that offer from Ohio State. But I feel confident either way, right? Like whether or not David Sanders ends up with Tennessee, we've talked about it several times. Our tackle room is so deep. Moving forward, we've got a lot of very good players. Like I'll break down the film every single day. I'm watching these guys. They look really good. It's very promising. Now they still have to get better. But if you look at where they're at right now, their floor is absolutely tremendous. I'm not saying that to try to, save face, just in case David Sanders leaves. I'm saying that because that's how I honestly feel. We've got a lot of talent there, and that could also be part of the reason that maybe David Sanders is looking more to Ohio State, because maybe he wants to play as a true freshman. I don't know if he would play there, but I will say this: he probably has a better chance to play early there as a freshman, especially a tackle, than he does here at Tennessee, because we've got several studs. Lance Hurd, he ain't going nowhere, right? I'm sure that the staff would not push him out the door, move him on over to the right side to let David Sanders play on the left side. Now, I also have heard David Sanders say before, I don't know how much things have changed, but I've heard him say before that he doesn't care where he plays at. He just wants to help the team out. Hopefully that's still how he feels. But for me, just hearing that sort of news, that man, it's something that should be pretty feasible for our Tennessee Volunteers. That makes me feel good. As long as it's not something that we just absolutely cannot do and we cannot change, and it's more about the business aspect of this, I feel very good about it. And I do think that ultimately, like I said earlier, I still think that David Sanders will ultimately end up with our Tennessee Volunteers. So this class, man, if we can hold on to David Sanders, if we could add maybe like a Jaden Pilati and Isaiah Campbell, like we talked about. Also, we've got Timothy Merritt that's still kind of sitting out there. Who knows who else can kind of fall into the fold? This class could still end up potentially at top 5 whenever it's all said and done. So while things, may have felt a little bit bleak for us, I think that things are starting to trend upwards. But that's it for this one. Again, we will be out tomorrow with D. Morris's film breakdown, so please stay tuned for that. But as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share with your friends, family, and other volunteer fans. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks. Peace.